Okay, so welcome back to episode 8 of The Trader's Mind. Today we're diving into something which I believe is one of the main cores of trading psychology, and that's self-belief. Not motivation, not confidence from wins, not hype, but real subconscious self-belief. The kind that actually changes the way that you trade on the charts. Because I'll be honest, most traders don't fail because they're bad at trading or their strategy doesn't work. I've said that a million times now and it's true. Most traders fail because they can't trust themselves, and that's when they end up breaking the major rules in trading. So you always hear that quote, believe in yourself, and think it's all quotes and positivity. But in trading, self-belief is completely different. Self-belief is when you can hold a winner without panicking. You can take a clean loss without spiraling out of control. You can stick to your rules even when you don't want to, and say no even though you want to force a trade. It's not loud confidence, it's not jumping onto every trade because you believe in yourself so much that you're going to have a 100% win rate, and it's not celebrating every win. Self-belief in trading is quiet and it's really controlled. And most people get confused with ego and confidence, and they're two different things. Because ego is when you're almost trying to prove your confidence to somebody else. But self-confidence and self-belief is when you're trying to prove it to yourself and only yourself. This is where people get muddled up. And this is, if you have ego, this is when you start losing. So let's talk about why you don't have any self-belief. Number one is you judge yourself too quickly. You have one bad trade and you think your strategy is now completely broken and will never work again. Or you have one losing trade and you just feel like you're not made for trading and you just quit altogether. And you've probably done this. I've done those so many times. The amount of times where I said I was going to quit and give up on trading is, well, I can't even count it. It's too many. But if you think about it this way, a losing day doesn't take away from your experience. Every day you trade, every day you're on the charts, you gain a bit more experience. So a losing day is just giving you more experience. It's what you want. So even though it might seem bad on the cover of it, deep down, it's a good day because you're now more experienced. Because you don't suddenly become a worse trader after one bad session or even a losing streak. It's just how trading goes. Trading is probabilities. And the probability of you having a losing streak is there, and you will have them. And trading isn't a one-day sport. It's like going to the gym. You need to be consistent, and you need to repeat everything the exact same again and again and again. And think of it, as you're building muscle, as you're building capital, you can add more weight, which means you can add more lot sizes. And that's how traders grow. So stop thinking you can lift 200 kilos when you can't even lift 100 kilos. But being disciplined will get you to that 200 kilo mark. And it's the same with trading. Another reason a lot of traders lack self-belief is comparison. You look at other traders online and you see them making thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars per trade, per session. And you instantly just feel behind. But what you don't see is the years of losses, the blown accounts, and the stress that is all behind becoming a profitable trader. And that is exactly why I don't share any of my profits with you guys, because it's enough for me to live on and have a very nice life here in Dubai. But am I going to share that with you? Because you guys, if you're watching the videos and wanting to learn on your strategy, are honestly probably a little bit more behind me. And then if you see me making X and you're only making Y down below, you're going to try and want to reach that X as quickly as possible, and that's when you start comparing yourself and you end up losing because you're trying to get there too quickly. So comparison really does destroy self-belief before anything else. So I'll tell you something from my own trading journey. There was a point where I genuinely felt that I couldn't be consistent in trading, because every time I made a little bit of progress, I then slipped up, but my slip-ups were big slip-ups. And then every time I thought I'd mastered something, say I mastered my discipline, I was only doing one trade a day. Next week, I'd mess that all up on the first trading session. I'd put in like 5 trades. And I just used to think to myself, I'm really not built for trading. It's not what I want to do. It's not what I can do. And I honestly don't know how these other people are making money. But there was nothing wrong with my trading. And I can look back at it now and strongly say that my strategy was very strong. It's almost the same strategy that I use right now, and it works. But what happened is I couldn't trust myself. I had no self-belief, and I just couldn't stick to my own rules. The day that changed was the day where I decided to stop trying to be perfect and just try to be consistent, and not with profit and loss consistent. I mean consistent in following my rules and following my plan. So there is a bit of science about self-belief. So confidence doesn't come from being good, but it comes from repetition, because your brain becomes more confident when it becomes more comfortable. So your brain becomes more confident the more familiar something feels, not the more successful it is. Meaning you don't build self-belief by big, huge wins, but you build it by repetition and doing the right thing over and over again. And the right thing doesn't mean winning the trade. It just means sticking to your plan, your setup, and your rules. And then what happens is your brain then starts treating this like a good, solid routine. So if you walk away when you're supposed to, your brain then sees this as control. And if you journal honestly, then your brain starts connecting your behavior with your outcome. So self-belief and confidence is literally a pattern that your brain recognizes. So let me list a few signs why you might not have self-belief yet. You cut your winners way too early because you think they'll reverse on you. You hold losers because you just don't trust your stop loss and you remove it. You hesitate on entries all the time. You don't trust any of your biases even though they're completely clean. You overtrade just to prove something, and then you just change your strategies all the time as well, like weekly and monthly. None of that comes from a lack of skill. It just comes from a lack of self-belief. So how do you build real self-belief within yourself? Let me just give you the steps. Number one is just show up every single day, even if it's for 20 minutes. Self-belief starts when you start keeping promises to yourself. Number two is journal honestly, because most of you guys, you might journal, but sometimes you still lie to yourself in your own journal. You leave things out or you sugarcoat it a bit, but you really need to write down the truth, even if it makes you cringe. Number three is you have to keep your risk fixed. If your risk is always random, then your emotions are going to be random too. Controlled risk equals controlled confidence. 4 is celebrate small wins. 1 clean session, 1 good hold, 1 avoided trade. These matter a lot more than you think. They matter a lot more than the big wins. Don't celebrate the big wins, celebrate the small ones. Number 5, you should know this by now, but don't revenge trade. It's literally the fastest way to kill your account and ruin your self-belief. And every time you revenge trade, you teach your brain that you can't trust yourself, you have no confidence, and you just spiral. Revenge trading is literally the worst thing that you can do. And number 6, focus on habits. You can't control any outcome of any trade. You just can't. But you can control your actions before, during, and after the trade. Self-belief comes from trusting the actions that you take and not what you see on the chart. So when you finally build a real self-belief in yourself, trading changes completely. You stop rushing trades, you stop panicking mid-trade as well, and you just stop forcing at everything. It just comes naturally. The market becomes calmer, your mind becomes clearer, and your reactions slow down a bit. You don't suddenly become the perfect trader, but you are now being a more controlled trader, and it's controlled traders who win. So yeah, if you are struggling with trading and self-belief, it's not your strategy, it's not the market, it's not your broker, and it's not your entries. Ask yourself, do you actually trust yourself? If the answer is no, that's absolutely fine, but it's something you know that you can build on. And by knowing that you don't have self-belief, you're literally halfway there to having that self-belief. So that wraps up episode 8 of The Trader's Mind. I'll be posting episode 9 tomorrow. Like always, I've put the link down to my Telegram group, The Trader's Mind, which is a Telegram group purely for trading psychology. I'll give you daily tips, session tips. So whilst you're trading, you've got me there, making sure that you're staying psychologically stable throughout your trades. I've also put the link down to XNES and FTMO, who are the brokers that I use. And again, if you feel like there's anything I didn't cover or you want me to cover, or just any suggestions in general, put it down in the comments section and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in episode 9 tomorrow.